Hi everyone and welcome back to another video. So today I'm doing a speed renovation of Jen's Get Together LP house. She asked us in the last episode to do a renovation of this if we can and upload it to the gallery to be featured in her next episode, well for the future episodes as Rossi and Caleb live in this house. So this is my version of it, and this is actually the second time I've done this house. I did it a first time and I thought, well, I kind of like this house, what I've done with it, but I thought I could do this and I could do that, so I ended up doing it another second version of it. But both versions are on the gallery under my origin ID, which is Thomas Sydney 1. And also from that little intro video that you've just seen, you might have seen that some of the curtains with blue, it's not actually like that. It's because I have this lighting glitch with my curtains sometimes, and it happened when I was just doing that little intro, unfortunately. So I don't know why, but it just did. So there was blue curtains in there for some reason, but it isn't really like that underneath. So I'm just going to talk you through here what I'm doing, and as you can see there, I put a little balcony on the back. I thought that was a nice little addition to this house, because if you don't know and if you don't watch the LP, then I'll leave I'll leave her channel in the description down below, so you can go ahead and watch that LP if you want. And also, so the two main Sims in that, Caleb and Rossi, don't really have a lot of money. They work hard in the jobs all the time trying to support their families, but you know, they haven't really got a lot of money, but they want a nicer house. So Jen asked us to do this. We had to stick on the budget for 40,000 simoleons, which was really, really hard, by the way. I'm surprised I actually done that, because I do have very expensive tastes when it comes to the Sims. So I had to try and restrict myself in some things I was doing. So I added in that little balcony because there isn't really a whole lot of interesting things about the house. It's in like the middle of Windenburg and kind of like a neglected area, I guess you could say. There isn't really a whole lot around it apart from trees. So, you know, that just adds a little bit more to it, because really the one thing I really like about this particular lot in Windenburg is the scenery. There's lots of nice scenery around, so Caleb or Rossi could sit with their morning coffee outside on the balcony and just look over at the view before they have a hard day at work. So that's what I did there. And as you can see at the front there, I wanted to have like a little bay window sort of thing. It isn't actually using the bay window in The Sims, but I added like little diagonal walls and things just to try and replicate that, and use some long windows to fill that space up there. So I'm just changing up the porch area a little bit there. I had a bit of trouble trying to get that, I don't know what you call them. It begins with an S, but I can't remember the name of them. Those things that go around the porch on the top. I had a bit of trouble with that once I did that little addition to the side there on the windows, so I had to redo that. And also I took the foundation out just for a second while I was doing that. It was much easier to do those diagonal walls without the foundation, but I put them back in just then. So now I'm changing up the inside of the house a little bit. I didn't want to change it up too much, because this is just a renovation. It's not like another house that I'm building, so I try to keep the structure of it mostly the same. So I actually changed the kitchen around, but the living room and the dining space are mostly the same in terms of where they're positioned. So the reason I put the balcony in was because I had that empty room, as you can see just there. That's because Caleb and Rossi actually have another baby, but I didn't actually decorate that room because I don't know if the baby's going to be a boy or girl, so I just left it plain so then Jen can adapt it to whatever gender it's going to be. And then above it there was extra space, and I was really, really strict on money here, so I ended up just putting a balcony in because it didn't cost a whole lot, and I just added that little extra thing for this house that doesn't really have a whole lot bringing into it. So I did use that cheat. It's not really a cheat, but you know how you can press like shift in one of the bracket buttons to make objects bigger. I did that with the TV because there isn't really a whole lot of money there to buy a nice TV, so I just went with a cheap one, but scaled it up a little bit so the kids have something nice in this house, because you know the parents are working long hours and everything, so they want a bit more entertainment in the house while they're out working. I also kept the games table upstairs, which you'll see in a minute. I thought it was a really nice addition because there isn't really a whole lot for them to do here as a family, so that's probably one of the main things I kept. I also added on a little fencing in the back garden. This is because this is kind of open, the house. It's on like a big lot and it's kind of like separated from everything else. So I added in a fencing around the back garden just as a little bit more privacy. So I'm just going in with the windows here. I took most of them out at the start, but I kept some of them in. I do my builds and this isn't a build, but it's renovation, I guess. I do, in my builds as well. I normally start off with the windows first, looking at the outside, and I want the house on the outside to look best first, and then I'll adapt the interior to work with the outside. I'd kind of mix up how I do that order. Sometimes I do it like I want how the interior looks first, then do the windows last. But this time I kind of did a bit of both. Sometimes I did the windows first, as you can see there at the front, and then I did the windows at the end as well. So I went with the bathroom. I changed the colour of the tiles. I went with like a dark royal blue. That was kind of different than I've ever done before really in a bathroom. Not for any particular reason, it's just something different that I've never really done. And it turned out really, really nice. I really like the colour of blue, and it just added that little pop of colour, I suppose. Because this house, I went with neutral colours, which, you know, isn't that too exciting. So I added in that little blue bathroom just as something a little bit extra. I also kept the picture there of Rossi and Isabella as a nice little memory for Rossi to look over, because she doesn't really see her sister that often, so that's something nice for her to look over. That's actually Rossi's and Caleb's bedroom right there, so that's why I put the picture in there, of course. And then here I'm onto the bathroom and just changed it up slightly. I kind of made the floor tiles like tan colour to mix in with the rest of the house, and I also go in at the end. I don't think I did this in the actual recording, but I go in and change all the bathroom objects like the toilet and the shower and the sink in the other bathroom as well, and I changed them to black. I just thought it kind of blended in well with the blue walls. So here we are into the living room, which was kept pretty similar in terms of how it was set out. Again, this isn't a renovation, so there isn't really much to do here. So I scaled up the TV, as you could see, and I thought that TV stand would be really expensive, but it actually wasn't, because they have the same type for a dresser, which is like 500 simoleons, but the TV one was like only 100. And I'm also there changing around the rotation of the sofa there. I would say kind of did this, but I actually did this. I used the off-grid rotation thing to add a little more extra little oomph to it, I guess, but it didn't really work out that way, so I just did it on grid, I suppose. And then as you can see here, I'm going around changing the kitchen because I realised that those counters and cabinets were really, really expensive, and Rossi and Caleb don't have enough money to pay for them. So I changed them back to a cheaper one, which, you know, isn't very good. I suppose Rossi won't be very happy with that, but, you know, they've got to do what they've got to do. And also, you might have seen next to the fridge, I forgot to change one of those counters, but, well, you would have seen in the beginning intro that I changed that. It was just because I just forgot. As you can see here, I paused for a minute. I was just thinking what my next move was going to be. My screen isn't freezed. So yeah, as you can see, I'm just changing around the windows and things just to fit in with how I've got furniture. It's always quite awkward to do windows in the kitchen because you have the cabinets and the counters and things in the way, so you have to keep changing them as you go sometimes, so everything works nicely. And then I had to change the other ones so it isn't uneven. I want them all to be the same. Expanded the table here because before it was just one single table with the 4 chairs around, so I made it a little bit bigger. As you can see there, I changed the sizing of the walls there for 2 reasons really. One, if it's going to be the kids' bedroom for a baby, you don't really need that much space, and 2, I barely had any money left, so I made that a little bit smaller. I did that upstairs as well. I changed the size of 1 or 2 rooms just because I was really tight on money here, and there wasn't a whole lot I could do without making those little sacrifices. And then I'm just working on the balcony a little bit and changing the flooring upstairs similar to what it was downstairs. I didn't want any like drastic changes from upstairs and downstairs. I kind of want everything to flow and look neutral and just nice. With the upstairs, again, in that main centre upstairs bit, I kept the same really. I just changed the colours of it just to fit in with the walls. There wasn't really a whole lot I could do in terms of renovating it in that part because there wasn't a lot of money. I was going to change the computer, but I didn't have enough money to change that either. So I just added a little rug, which I haven't done quite yet, underneath the table there, the games table, which I really, really like that games table. It's probably one of the things that, well, I mentioned that at the start, it's one of the things that they can do as a family. Now on to the kids' bedroom, which is kind of similar, I suppose. I just changed a couple of things like the wall coverings and rearranged a couple of things, added in a mirror and a new toy box and things like that. Just upgraded a couple of items because I kind of liked how this room was. I didn't think that if I added in some kids' room stuff items, then it would look even worse. So I just kept most of the items the same there and just added in a bookshelf, like I said, and the toy chest and mirror. And yeah, also you may notice that on the floor there, there already was 2 of those little toy cars that aren't functional. And I was kind of going back at the end thinking, what can I delete here? Because this is above 40k. I don't think I mentioned that at the start actually, but we had to keep this house under 40,000, which is so hard to do. And I was going back at the end because I was just over 40,000. I was like, what can I delete here? I went into the kids' room and realised that those two little toy cars that aren't even functional on the carpet were 600 simoleons thereabouts. One of them, I don't know how, if they're both, well, one of them was 300 simoleons. I can't remember the other one. So I got like so much money back there for a little thing, just so simple like that. So, one thing that you may not have noticed I have done is added in paintings. One, there wasn't really a lot of money for it, and two, I went back at the end and added in a couple of more little things. We're pretty close to the end now actually, because this was only a renovation, so it isn't too long. Had in, I think I spent about an hour on this. So yeah, I'm just going in with the landscaping now. Again, isn't a lot of money, there isn't a whole lot you can do. I changed the pathways there. It was just like plain gravel, so I added in like a stone texture to it, just thought it added a little bit more oomph, I guess you could say. And yeah, so landscaping again wasn't a whole lot because these plants are really expensive, which I'm quite surprised about, so couldn't add many plants in there. Added in a couple of trees, which I haven't done just yet, but as you can see, well, just about to now, I put some chairs on the porch area, but at the end I had to delete them, which I was kind of unfortunate about because the porches are pretty bare, so there just wasn't enough money to have them there. As you can see, I'm going in with the stones there as a little extra detail for the pathway, but those stones are so expensive I couldn't afford to keep them in there, so I just went with two little plants. Now, this is the bit where I really struggled with. I tried to add in these little trims that you can put along like the flooring. I have this in my Cons Family Let's Play, if you watch that, in the back garden and in the front actually. You see where the mailbox is in the trash bin, they have this little like white trim that separates them off, which I've just put in right there. As you can see, I did the little extra bit on the side. I was going to put the mailbox and bin in there, but it just didn't work because I couldn't go all the way to the end of the lot. It just wouldn't let me, so it didn't work out, which was kind of unfortunate, so they're kind of just standing alone there. I'm going back in with the hedges because that's really the only thing I could afford in terms of landscaping, but I did manage to add in a little fountain, which I couldn't find to start with, so I added in that little fountain next to the tree, and I just thought added in a nice little detail, I suppose. I don't know if it actually has like, it was functional when I'm in game mode, if like water is coming out. Well, no, it's not like a fountain like that, but anyway, moving on. So I'm just going in with the dirt terrain paint here. I really like using this. I never really used to, just didn't really think about it, but now I put dirt terrain paint around like the foundations and where there's trees and things, just to make it a little bit more realistic. Now we're going in with the fence because did I mention this at the start? I don't know, because this is my second time doing this voiceover, so I feel like I'm repeating myself, but it might not be to you, I don't know. I added in a little fence there for extra privacy, because this place is pretty open, so that little extra little fence just added in a little bit more, but it was pretty expensive, so I had to keep adjusting it, taking little bits out, just so I had enough money left to do what I needed to do. I also added in a couple of chairs there around the fire pit, because this is the get together LP really, so people gather here, I guess you could, I don't even know. So I added in a couple of there could have been a couple more really for when they have get-togethers, but I could only afford 4 for the family. Also added in a garden box there, because Rossi does like to do a little bit of gardening, which is trying to get in a little bit more, so I added in a garden box for there, as well as 2 little tree pots at the front there, but I only could afford one, so I took one out. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this. I'm just going in with little blocks around the tree where the fountain was, and little plants here and there. Again, I was pretty conscious of how much money I was spending. I think this house in total was about 39.9 or 0.8k, which was under the maximum you could go to, which I was really happy about. So that's pretty much it. This on the gallery does say it has custom content, but that actually isn't custom content. I don't really know why it says that. And this is also known as version 2 of the house, so if you see that, that's mine. Also have another version which is just the Get Together LP revamp, it's called. This one is version 2 of that. So that is pretty much it for this. I'm going to leave you here with the outro. Hope you enjoyed. And like I said, go over to Jen's channel to see this LP. Go to my Origin ID to download this if you want to. Also leave a like, comment, share and subscribe if you haven't. And I'll see you next time. Bye!